So I just wanted to share this little short message. Today I was walking in the woods, and it's a place that I walk all the time. I really started spending a lot of time in these woods. They're like 10 minutes from me, back in 2019-20. And it's just a place of solace, a place of sanctuary. It's a place where as soon I can walk in feeling stressed, feeling anxious, feeling any of those things. And when I walk out of it, all that is gone. It's such a healing, restorative, just an amazing place. Even if I'm just there for 5 minutes, which sometimes that's all I can manage because I'm feeling overwhelmed with things. Sometimes we just have those days where we feel overwhelmed. But I always know that when I go there, I'm going to leave it feeling so much more in balance and in alignment. And today, when I was in the forest, as I was because what's always struck me as I've walked through the forest is it's kind of in the middle of like quite a built up area. It's almost like they've left this small sliver of forest, and then built all these houses around it, as often happens, right? As in our society, we built this society where we push nature away, as if it's something to move away from. And what's always struck me is this is such a tranquil, healing, beautiful place. I always thought, why is there not so many more people in here? But on one side of that coin, I also kind of felt, well, I'm kind of glad in a way, a bit selfish there, just because I was like, I'm kind of glad in a way because also it's like a sanctuary and it's nice that it's quiet, peaceful. But today when I was walking through the forest, I could just hear all this laughter, all these children playing and screaming and running around, and I felt instantly the forest smile, just feel all this like warmth emanating from the forest. And I could understand that the forest was so happy to have these children here playing in it, to have them running around. And when I actually bumped into the I don't know if you want to, teachers maybe, that were taking this class out, and I was just saying to this lady, I was like, wow, it's really nice to hear kids in this forest and hear them laughing and running around and playing. And what I was thinking was, wow, it's so good for children to be in nature. As a child, that didn't happen for me at school. There was no forest time. There was nothing about nature at all. And I know how much that grows and expands and heals, as all, and how it opens up the imagination and the creativity of children, and it creates an intelligence beyond that can be learned in a classroom through these books that are learned in a classroom. So I could feel this, and I was saying to how amazing it was, and she was saying like, yeah, we brought the kids here, they're making, we bring one set of children once a month. So it's obviously some kind of like an organisation that does this. And it reminded me of my sister as well, because my sister works at a school in Skipton, and they do forest school every single afternoon. I think it's probably a different class, but every single afternoon she's in forest school, and she's always sending me these pictures, and she's like, look at my classroom today, and it's always in a beautiful place. And you could see how much fun was emanating from these kids. And they were making swings and dens, and the forest actually sings. It actually lights up. It's happy. The forest, nature, it wants joy, it wants fun, it wants connection, it wants to feel joy from human beings, being a part of it, interacting with it. It brings a lot of joy to the forest, to the spirit animals, to the nature spirits. It brings so much joy to everyone within the forest. And it kind of got me thinking, like, imagine if rather than we really push nature back so that we could live, imagine if we lived in nature. Imagine if nature was just everywhere and we created our communities in nature rather than scaling nature back so that we could have these concrete brick line upon line upon line upon line of towns all condensed into these small little areas, with hardly any nature, where we've basically cut back the nature to make room for concrete. Imagine if instead of doing that, we found a way to live in nature and we created our communities in more harmony with the nature, imagine how that would be for our reality. And this is what I envision for this new world that we are creating, where we're going to be living in nature rather than pushing nature to the side, and sometimes wandering into it. We're going to be living in nature. Nature is going to be our playground. Nature is going to be our classroom. Nature is going to be where we live.